When you learn a new language or when you're even just exposed to it, you start realizing that there are words and phrases and ways to describe things in a different language from your own that you may never have thought about as a way to view the world.
Welcome to the Journey to Hear podcast. I'm M.
And I'm Dee. Here we chat about life skills, business, growing, and building. We hope to inspire you on your journey to hear.
Wherever your hear may be.
There have been numerous studies done and blog posts and articles written about how certain cultures and places have these ways of describing their environment. I remember an article that I read some time ago. This particular culture and place will describe where they are at the moment in relation to direction. So I am south of something or north of something else. And this has an effect on the people in this community's spatial awareness. There are in some cultures and languages words that you just cannot translate. And for us being bilingual and also now learning a third, fourth language and having to understand enough to be able to transact and live a happy life, we are able to often ask the question about the meaning of a word and how some words just do not translate well.
What also happens is one questions your knowledge of your own language, how there are words that exist in languages that we are familiar with. We are very well versed and completely fluent in two languages, and then we have working knowledge of a couple of others. Having the knowledge of the extra languages, one now questions the usage of your mother tongue and how certain words have been, the meanings of those words have changed over time. The English word dear, D-E-A-R, used to be a term of endearment that was used in the beginning of letters. For example, Dear John. That was one that you didn't really want to get because it was almost passive-aggressive. Dear John became the way of addressing business letters, dear. But dear actually means valuable, expensive. When one said Dear John or dear, let's say, dear Mr. So-and-so, it was saying you are important to me, you are valuable to me. And by overusing it, the meaning of that word eventually fell away. It lacked significance. And we have changed the forms that things are used in. We were talking earlier about the words for value and expense. Something is valuable. Many things that are valuable are termed expensive. And there's a difference because something that is valuable is an investment. Something that is expensive is actually false value. For example, people will say gold is expensive. No, it's not. It's valuable. It has a high price.
Buying food from a grocery store with a good reputation or being able to go to the farmer and get meat that was pasture raised and looked after and cared for may cost more per kilogram, and therefore many people will say, I cannot afford the expensive thing, whereas that should be an investment in your health and nutrition.
If we look at where we are, we have noticed the benefits of good nutrition. Our general state of health, now that we shop less and less from traditional stores, our diet consists of a lot more fresh produce and locally grown produce. Our health is so much better. Our energy levels are better. which gives us the ability to achieve higher output, the food we're eating is valuable. It's not expensive.
One of the reasons for me thinking about this topic was Jabu or Jabulani, which is the rooster's name. And it took us a couple of days to firstly decide whether this rooster was going to stay. And then when we made the decision that he is definitely going to be part of the property and have his life here because he is really awesome, we thought about a name for the rooster, and we wanted it to be a name with meaning. Growing up in South Africa, we learned early on how the names people gave their children had meanings. If you met a person and you asked them about the meaning of their name, they will tell you that my name maybe means sunshine, or it means joy, or happiness, or peace, or strength. All these names have meanings, and when you go and spend time with people from various cultures, you start learning how the words they use in a particular language hold so much more meaning than just a translation that you attach to it. In the village we are in and the country we live in, name days are celebrated all throughout the year. You can download the calendar to see which person's name is celebrated on which day, and people will come together on that particular day and they will celebrate a person who has that name, and sometimes it's their own name or a friend or a relative or a person that they really love and enjoy spending time with. Names have meanings. The words we use have meaning. The way we use these words are so important. Therefore, when we use language on a daily basis, I believe that it is so important for us to frame the way we speak. Because what makes us as humans so different is our ability to create. We are the species that can look at something and shape and change and form something because of our creative nature. Therefore, when we start off by using our thoughts, which then turn into words, that can shape something that is going to be positive. It can also shape something that is going to be destructive. Therefore, the way we frame our thoughts and our words and our sentences is so important. We need to be aware of how we use them. A very simple example is the I don't know versus I don't know yet. I can't do this. I can't do this at the moment. Do you mind if I revisit it in 5 minutes? I cannot do this versus I cannot do this until I have looked at all the options available and decided whether this is the best course of action. We can and should look at how we use our words, the meaning that we have attached to those words, and what we would like to achieve. When we decided to call the rooster Jabulani, the reason for that was the meaning of the word Jabulani, which is to rejoice. And it may sound weird to think that that is a reason, but he gave us joy and a new joy in the having of a rooster on the property.
Because the last rooster was horrific.
And the last rooster's name was also connected to something that was actually not a good connection in hindsight. So the question is, Was every time you use that person's name not just maybe a way of reinforcing a habit and a personality trait? That is something that I remember often about the names that parents would give their child, and they would say that if I call my child something that means wisdom, every time I talk to my child and every time someone calls that child and speaks of that child, they reinforce the wisdom in that child. It's like telling someone that they are beautiful and smart and funny. What you are doing is that you are enforcing those traits in that person, and they become more beautiful and smart and funny because it's something that you keep on speaking over that person. You're blessing them with those traits.
There is scientific evidence to back up what you've just said. There was also obviously the entire movement with neuro-linguistic programming, which became controversial because of, unfortunately, some unscrupulous practitioners. But it's a technique that is used every single day as people who were involved in the PR industry and in marketing during the course of our careers. We understand how important brand messaging is, personal messaging, reinforcement. One of the major tools we have for that is the linguistics. The language that is used helps with programming responses that we look for. We look at Jabu and we have named him according to the personality traits that we saw in him. We waited because we weren't sure whether he was going to stay or not. If one looks at this little kitten that has now shared our lives for a decade, she's Siyabonga, which means thank you. And she received that name after we'd rescued her. She got out of the flat we were living in the desert at the time, and came back. And we were thankful that she came back. She decided she wanted to live with us. And that name is reinforced every day. And she's an absolute little honey. She's a gem. We are thankful for her. So yes, use your language carefully. There's a song where the lyrics go, words are like weapons, they wound sometimes. I think it's Cher that sings it. Choose your words carefully. Choose your names carefully. Decide what you want to achieve with your words, and strive to use your language, your names and words in a way that add wealth and add value to your life and the lives of those around you.
Enjoy your journey to being creative with the words you use every day.
Wherever that journey of value, development and realization may take you. Thanks for joining us for this part of our journey. We hope this episode added value. For more information on what we do, please visit our website at www.thejourneytohere.co.za.
If you liked what you heard, please join us on a regular basis by subscribing through your favorite podcasting platform. Even better, listen to us on Fountain FM, where you can send us and other content creators sats in a value for value exchange.
We look forward to having you along for the rest of your journey to here.
Wherever your here may be.